South Africa's business activity slowed sharply in December, recording its weakest performance in almost a year. An S&P Global survey shows the Purchasing Managers Index fell to 47.7, well below the level that signals growth. The decline was driven by weaker demand, falling outputs, and fewer new orders as both consumers and businesses cut back on spending. Despite the slowdown, employment edged slightly higher, and businesses remain hopeful that economic conditions will improve in 2026. AB InBev is buying back a near 50% stake in its U.S. metal container plants for about $3 billion. Now the stake is being reacquired from investors led by Apollo Global Management 5 years after it was first sold. The brewer says the plants are a strategic part of its supply chain and the deal will boost earnings within the first year. The transaction is expected to be completed in the first quarter of next year. Discovery Health has asked some medical aid members to repay money after a claims processing error led to overpayments. According to MoneyWeb, the mistake affected a small number of members on certain comprehensive plans where claims were paid above the benefits allowed. Discovery says the error has now been corrected and affected members are being contacted to arrange repayment plans. It insists fewer than 1% of members are impacted. Benefits for 2026 remain unchanged and stronger controls are now in place. Jubilee Metals says it has received another $10 million from a local buyer, One Chrome, as it moves closer to becoming a pure-play copper producer. The group has now secured $25 million of the $90 million due from its sale of its South African chrome and PGM operations. Jubilee is refocusing on its copper assets in Zambia, benefiting from strong global demand and record copper prices. Its share price has jumped sharply in recent weeks as the transition gains momentum. Starlink is stepping up its push to operate in our country. It's calling on potential customers to lobby the telecoms regulator to change empowerment rules. The satellite internet company wants ICASA to allow alternate empowerment options rather than the current requirements of 30% black ownership. The move follows a directive from Communications Minister Solly Malatsi, but has sparked strong political opposition in Parliament. Starlink insists it's not seeking special treatment and says regulatory delays are keeping millions of South Africans offline. And further afield, the Trump administration is set to hold talks later this week with executives from U.S. oil companies on ways to ramp up Venezuelan oil production following the removal of Nicolas Maduro by U.S. forces. Let's take a look at this report for more.
Donald Trump's administration is planning to meet with executives from U.S. oil companies later this week. That's according to a Reuters source who says the meetings are to discuss boosting Venezuelan oil production after U.S. forces ousted country leader Nicolas Maduro. The administration is eyeing getting U.S. oil companies back into the South American nation after its government took control of U.S.-led energy operations there nearly 2 decades ago. The White House did not comment on the planned meetings, but said it believed U.S. industry was ready to move into Venezuela. The 3 biggest U.S. oil companies, ExxonMobil, ConocoPhillips, Chevron, did not immediately respond to requests for comments. According to 4 industry executives, the 3 firms have not yet had any conversations with the administration about Maduro's ouster. That contradicts Trump's statement over the weekend. The president said he had already held meetings with all the U.S. companies, both before and after Maduro was seized. Trump also said that he expects the firms to spend billions of dollars to boost Venezuela's oil production. But industry analysts say those plans will face challenges. They cite lack of infrastructure and deep uncertainty over the country's political future and legal framework, as well as doubts over long-term U.S. policy.
Meanwhile, the Consumer Electronics Show, the largest and most influential tech trade show, kicks off in Las Vegas with the presentation of a new chip from NVIDIA CEO Jensen. Let's take a look at this report for more.
Today, I can tell you that Vera Rubin is in full production.
NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang thought the company's next generation of chips was in full production, promising to deliver 5 times the AI computing of earlier models. He was speaking at the annual Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. It comes as the world's most valuable company faces mounting competition from rivals and its own customers. Set to launch later this year, the flagship Vera Rubin platform packs 6 separate NVIDIA chips with 72 graphic units and 36 new central processors. These can be linked into pods with over 1,000 Rubin chips working together. To achieve these performance gains, Huang said the hardware uses proprietary data formats that he hopes the industry will embrace.
This is completely revolutionary. This is how we were able to deliver such a gigantic step up in performance, even though we only have 1.6 times the number of transistors.
The AI chip leader also introduced new features aimed at helping chatbots handle complex conversations with millions of users simultaneously. Huang also showcased new self-driving car software called Alpamayo that he said will be open-sourced.
Source the models. We also open sourced the data that we use to train those models. Because only in that way can you truly trust how the models came to be.
The same day saw rival AMD show off its latest AI chips in Las Vegas too. It's selling them to customers, including ChatGPT maker OpenAI.